Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I'm going to make a pecan and chocolate chip pound cake. So first of all, what we need to do is take our bundt pan, or you can use an angel food pan. I'm going to take a little bit of shortening and grease it very well, lightly, all over, and then take a little flour and sprinkle and get all the corners and everything floured, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I have my cake pan or my bundt pan lightly greased and floured. So now to go over the ingredients. In my stand-up mixer bowl, or you can use a handheld mixer, I have 1 cup of softened butter, and that equals 2 sticks. In my flour mixture, I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I will sift all this together. I have 1 1/3 cups of granulated sugar. I have 5 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1/3 cup of sour cream, and then in this bowl I have 1 cup of chopped pecans or pecans, and then I have a 1/2 cup each of chocolate chips and white chocolate chips. Now when the cake gets done, for the topping, we're going to take an additional 1/3 cup of chopped pecans, 1/3 cup each of the chocolate and white chips, and we're going to melt the chips and sprinkle it on the top and add the pecans, and that kind of shows what's inside the cake. So let's get started. Alright, I have my oven preheated at 325 degrees. I have sifted together my flour, baking soda, and salt, and that's all-purpose flour. If you want to make this and you don't have all-purpose flour, go ahead and use self-rising flour, but leave out the baking soda and the salt. So you can either sift that or just whisk it together, and I have that set aside. So in my mixer bowl, or you can use a handheld mixer, take your 1 cup of softened room temperature butter and mix it for about a minute. Now I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. I'm going to turn my mixer back on low and gradually add my 1 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Just want to slowly add a little bit at a time until it's well incorporated. This process should take about 4 to 8 minutes. And once we get it all in, we're going to scrape down the bowl and really whip it until it's light and fluffy. I have all of my sugar mixed in, and now I'm going to scrape down the bowl, and we're going to turn our mixer back on medium. We're going to really blend this for a couple of minutes until it's light and fluffy and real pale in color. I'm not finished yet. I'm going to stop. It's been whipping up for a little over a minute. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl again. Turn it back on medium and let it continue to mix up. Alright, can you see where that's kind of now a light pale yellow and it's real fluffy? I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, and with my 5 eggs, I'm going to add them 1 at a time and mix well after each egg addition. What I like to do with my eggs, I have a small bowl. I will crack the egg in the bowl, that way if I get any shell in there I can take it out before I put it in my mixture. So we're going to add our eggs 1 at a time and mix it well before we add the next egg. I'm on my 4th egg. I'm going to stop and I'm going to scrape down the mixer real good. Make sure you get the bottom of it too. Now I'm about to add my 4th egg, and I'll be back. On my 5th egg, I went ahead and added my 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract to it. You don't have to do that. You can just add your egg and then your 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, but I just put it in the same bowl. And I'm going to pour this in and incorporate that very well. Our eggs are mixed in real good. So now I'm going to add half the flour mixture. That's my flour, baking powder, and salt. And I'm going to go ahead and add half of it, turn my blender on low, and blend that till it's incorporated. I'm going to scrape down my bowl again. Alright, now that that's blended in, I'm going to scrape a little bit, and now I'm going to add my sour cream mixture and the rest of the flour. And that's 1/3 cup of sour cream. I'm going to mix that in on low speed until the flour just gets incorporated, and then I'll be back. Alright, my flour mixture and sour cream is incorporated. So I'm going to clean off the paddle. And we're going to fold in our pecans and our chocolate chips. Now I'm going to fold in my 1 cup of chopped pecans and a 1/2 cup each of chocolate chips and white chocolate chips. And now we're going to evenly pour it in to our bundt pan. And I'm going to smooth out the top a little bit. And now my oven is preheated to 325 degrees. We're going to bake this in the center rack for 55 to 65 minutes, or until you insert a toothpick in the middle and it comes out clean. My cake has actually baked for 65 minutes, so I'm going to insert a toothpick in there, and it comes out clean. So it's done. I'm going to let it cool in the pan for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to turn it out on a wire rack and let it cool completely, and then we'll get on to the next step. My pound cake is cooled. So I took my chocolate chips, my white chocolate and my dark chocolate, melted it in the microwave in a container for just a few seconds, stirred it, and continue on, because it's not much chips, so you really don't want to do it long, because you don't want to scorch or burn your chocolate. So it'll only take like maybe 10-15 seconds, stir it up, and then maybe 5 seconds each to make sure that they get melted. And then I poured it into a sandwich zip top bag. I'm going to cut the corner off and just drizzle it over the cake. And then just take your chopped pecans and sprinkle some over the top. You can sprinkle as much as you want, put on as much as you want, or as little as you want. You can even skip this step. But I like it, and lets people know what's on the inside, and it tastes real good. Once you get the chocolates on and the nuts on, today it's a real hot, humid, muggy day. And you know, it's almost Christmas Eve, and we're supposed to be getting bad storms and stuff. So anyway, this chocolate will probably never set in my house, even setting out as warm as it is. So I'm going to put mine in the refrigerator just long enough to set the chocolate. And then I'll bring it back out, put it in my cake pan, and leave it out. But it won't last long. People's going to gobble this up. So I hope you enjoy. Merry Christmas.